But what did you think about, the overall experience on Lookout as compared to Castaway?
Yeah, I think if you're comparing both places without a cabana, we preferred Lookout.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of the DCL Duo Podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel. And Sam, I'm going to do something a little different at the top of this show. We are going to read a listener review, but the only reviews we can see on Apple Podcasts ourselves come from our US-based listeners, but we get reviews from folks outside the US. We have about a dozen reviews. And so I thought I have gone over to our review aggregation platform and pulled up our reviews for Canada and the UK. And I want to lead off. The reason that we discovered this issue is because we get alerts when new reviews are posted for the show. And we had a new review roll in recently from someone from Canada, and it was such a fun review. I wanted to read it on the air, and I think we're going to spend the next few episodes kind of working through the backlog of these international listeners and their reviews. Thank you so much to all of you out there who listen to this show who are not in the US. It boggles our minds that we are being listened to on at least 2 continents, although our data suggests more than that. Unreal, folks. Thank you for your support of the show by listening. Let's get on to this review that comes from MC from Quebec. And so it starts off, as any good Quebecer should, with a little
Quebecois, Brian.
Quebecois. It reads, Best DCL podcast. I'm going to butcher the French here, even though I took 12 years of it. Le meilleur podcast sur les croisières. Grâce à Brian et Sam, c'est un peu comme partir en croisière à chaque émission avec leur inventé ou oh. So I'm actually going to see if I can get a translation here.
That was great, Brian.
Bear with me.
You butchered some of your pronunciation.
Oh, I am sure I butchered way more than some.
I took middle school and high school French myself as well. So less years than Brian did of French, but neither of us speak French really at this point, other than maybe reading a menu.
For those of you who know French, then you know the first line of this review, but I'm going to read it to you in English now for everyone else out there listening. It reads, the best podcast about cruises. Thanks to Brian and Sam. It's a bit like going on a cruise with every episode, whether with their guests or just the two of them. They're up to date on the latest news and know the best kept secrets of the cruise community. Always looking forward to the next episode. I am so happy that you will read my review in French on the air. Oh, you can use Google Translate. I used a little ChatGPT Translate, but yes. Thank you so much for that review, MC from Quebec. We greatly appreciate you. And I have actually visited Quebec before. No, I visited Montreal.
I have visited Quebec.
Yeah, I've been to Montreal, and we love all things Canada. Vancouver being so close to our home, we love to visit Vancouver, British Columbia as well. But thank you for that review.
And we love your poutine, you guys. So thank you for bringing that to the world. I mean,
who doesn't like cheese curds and gravy on top of some good French fries? So with that, I will just remind everyone out there listening, as always, we were so close to we were trying to hit a milestone of 550 reviews by the end of last year. We got pretty close, but didn't hit it. So there's still time to help us. Just keep leaving those reviews. It's one of the easiest ways to support the podcast. Head over to Apple Podcasts, hit those 5 stars, and if you leave us a written review, we will read it on the air at the top of one of our main episodes.
And if you leave it in another language, apparently Brian will try to read it in your native language. I guess if you use the same alphabet. If you don't use the same alphabet, neither Brian nor I are going to be able to try and read your. So
no
if you
Chinese, no Cyrillic,
if you write it in an alphabet that either Brian or I can read, then we will attempt to read it.
Let's not start a trend of people trying to stump Brian with their languages because it will get pretty bad pretty fast. So, all right, Sam, do you want to introduce our fabulous guest and topic for today?
Yes, I'm so excited to welcome back a returning guest. She shares her name with me. We get to basically outnumber Brian today, 2-1, Sam to Brian ratio.
I'm always outnumbered 2-1. By Samantha's, sure.
Yeah, you're outnumbered 2-1 by Samantha's on the show today. Welcome to the show, Samantha Dart. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. And I was just wondering if because I'm originally from Brazil. So if I leave a review in Portuguese, can I keep adding the reviews, one in each language?
I love it.
Unfortunately, for those who have tried this, you can leave one review and one review only. You can update that review, but it does not add to our total. So we do know a few folks have gamed the system and opened another account and left a second review. We don't encourage that. We like to. Yes. So yeah.
But I think that would be hilarious to have Brian try to read Portuguese. I enjoy that.
We'll fire up the Duolingo. There we go.
Yeah. Well, Samantha, you were on a previous show with us, and we are going to talk here about your, 7th and 8th cruise, or 6th and 7th cruises. You did a side-by-side on the Dream and the Destiny over Christmas time, we'll call it, because obviously your Dream cruise was actually on Christmas. Your Destiny cruise was just following Christmas, just prior to New Year's. And of course, this was your first time on the Destiny. Also, your first time going to Lookout Cay, right?
That's right. Yeah. It was the 6th and 7th cruise. And I was so excited. And when I booked it, I mentioned last time on the show that we've become or at least I have become sort of a completionist. And so when I was searching dates, I was looking specifically Treasure or Destiny. And then the Treasure was, of course, the 7-nighter, and the Destiny 4 nights. And the thing is, I had just come off a 4-night on the Magic with my daughter. This was earlier last year. And I had such a wonderful time that I thought, maybe I don't need a 7-night, or maybe I'm okay with a 4-night, and it's not as expensive. And, I felt all adult and responsible, thinking, yeah, I can be happy with a 4-night. And then what happened was, we booked it and I was excited. And then I got my brother to join, and I thought, oh, but 4 nights is too short with my brother and my niece, and I need to do something. What was I thinking? I should have gone for the longer one. So we ended up looking at options, and then the Dream Maritime over Christmas was sitting right there, same port, and we thought, okay, we've never done a back-to-back, but we've never done a side-to-side either. So it just felt really exciting to do that.
That's awesome. And both of these are out of Fort Lauderdale, so you didn't have to travel between Port Canaveral and Port Everglades. You're at the same port. And now, did you have any day in between your cruises, or were you really getting off one and getting on the other the same day?
Same day, getting off and on. And it was interesting because we got conflicting information from DCL on how that was going to happen. I had done some research online, and people said, oh, there will be somebody to escort you and you will be taken care of. But then when I called DCL to ask, the first person I spoke to said, well, actually, no, the ports are really next to each other. So you get off, you walk over, you get on your boarding group. But once we got on the Dream, on the first day, I think we received a letter saying, okay, we can see that you're on a side-to-side, and here's the procedure, and you're going to pick up your luggage. Yes, you have to go through customs, but then, yes, you're going to meet with somebody from DCL, and you're going to be put on boarding group number 2 for the second cruise. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So slightly different than the back-to-back procedure, obviously, because you do have to change ports. And of course, you can't leave your luggage on because you're changing ships, right? You're going from one ship to another. So you got to pack everything up, and all your luggage, as you said, has to go through customs. So it is different, but that's really cool that they essentially expedite your boarding onto the second ship, because even though you're not getting on before the family of the day or with the back-to-back cruisers, you're still getting on early, and that way you're having less time that you're just kind of sitting around waiting at the port. That's pretty awesome. Now, you sailed this time. Tell us who you sailed with on this occasion, because you mentioned your brother and nephew or niece coming with you on this one. They were not with you on the last cruise.
No, they had never done a Disney cruise before. So we had our family of 4. Pedro and I, we have a 15-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl. She'll be 12 in March. I think Nathan has he turned 12?
Yep, he just turned 12.
Very similar age. And my brother was supposed to come with my sister-in-law and my 8-year-old niece, but my sister-in-law got sick just before the cruise. So she had to cancel last minute, and she was so heartbroken, and we were heartbroken. but my niece still got to come. And it was the first time she went to the beach. So, which is crazy because I know they live in Brazil. So it's like, what?
Wait, what? How old is she?
8. And the thing is, my brother and my sister-in-law, they're just not big, on beaches. So she hadn't gone, and it was magical for me to just play with her, watch her on the sand, in the sea. And I love that. I absolutely loved it. So it was the 6 of us, and it just felt incredible, especially because, so in Brazil, Christmas is huge. It is the biggest holiday of the year. Even if you're not religious, it really means just family together, right? So it's all about being together. So spending Christmas with my brother and my niece. I still missed my sister-in-law, but I was so happy with what we could do together. And it just felt really magical.
Oh, I love that. That's so lovely. Well, I got to ask now, does your brother speak English fluently like you do? And does your niece, who's only 8, does she speak English? Because most of the cast members don't speak Portuguese on board. We know that.
That's right. So my brother is actually an English teacher. Yes. And in fact, my sister-in-law as well. That's where they met at an English course in Brazil. And he's raising my niece, speaking English to her so that she would be bilingual from the beginning. So she is bilingual, and they could enjoy everything.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So at school and everything and out in society, she's speaking Portuguese, but at home, they're speaking English to her so that she's fully bilingual. That's really cool. I wish that we had that in our household.
I'm so jealous of people who are bilingual.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say Nathan is using Duolingo to teach himself Hebrew right now. So he does go to like religious school. And so he learns some Hebrew in religious school, but it's not really conversational Hebrew. That's sort of, we'll call it prayer Hebrew. But he's actually using Duolingo in order to learn conversational Hebrew, which I think is awesome, but it's not the same as speaking it in your everyday life. Of course, it's, and neither Brian nor I unfortunately speak any other language except, like we said, we both took French as kids and
retained none of it.
None of it. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's not a language we get to use very often.
No, I mean, here in the States, it would have been better if we had taken Spanish at least. But no, yeah, not a great use of our education system to teach us French, unfortunately, unless we want to work for the Olympics, I guess. Well, anyway, let's start with talking about your cruise on the Dream, because that was your first of the 2 cruises. That was your maritime cruise. Now, Sam, tell us, is that the one that went to Lookout, or what were your port stops on that Dream cruise?
No, it was just Nassau and Castaway. And Castaway was on Christmas Day. So it just felt perfect. And so the weather was fantastic throughout the cruise. It was really summer weather. Well, not Florida summer. Let's call it beach weather. It was just perfect. And the day at Castaway was blue skies. It was really, really nice. And then on the Destiny was when we got to go to Lookout.
Nice. Now, you had mentioned in the show notes when you reached out to us to book the show, to book the recording, that you actually had decided to get off at Nassau on both of your cruises, because both of your cruises stopped at Nassau. And I think that's super interesting because we have a lot of guests and ourselves who often don't get off at Nassau. They often use that as a I'm not going to call it a sea day, a ship day, right? So in order to enjoy some of the amenities of the ship when the ship is a little bit less crowded. And also because they've been to Nassau a lot of times. And it's not, sadly enough, it's not everybody's favorite port. But tell us, what did you guys decide to do in Nassau on, actually, let's talk about for both cruises, since we're on the topic. What did you guys decide to do in Nassau on both of your cruises?
I was surprised at making that decision myself, because I usually look at it as an opportunity to spend more time on the ship, having been off at Nassau before, going to Atlantis, and so on. But my brother, everything was new to him. It was their first Disney cruise, and he wanted to experience every part of it, including every port. So we decided to do the sip and paint on the first one, where you just go to this place where adults and kids all have to paint, and the adults can sip on a drink if they wish to, and the kids can have ice cream and things like that. It was very easy. They have transportation from the port there and back. And it was fun. It was cute. But I went more to kind of spend time with my brother than to do the activity itself. And Julia, my daughter, she loves painting. So I knew she was going to be into it. Needless to say, my 15-year-old stayed on the ship and had fun at Vibe. He was really into Vibe. And then on the second cruise, on the Destiny, the thing is, because I had spent time researching what people do at Nassau beyond what I had done in the past, I saw really good reviews about this chocolate factory because you get to make your own chocolate. You don't just visit and watch, you make your own. And I thought, maybe the four of us can do that experience, while my brother took my niece to do some dolphin encounter, which I had done with my son way back when. And that one I recommend. That was a lot of fun. And so we did the chocolate factory, just the four of us, and everybody enjoyed it. I'd say there's a little bit more waiting around than what I would have liked. So maybe it's not the most efficient use of your time, but it was nice to be together, the four of us, because frankly, I barely saw my son on this cruise. He was on the Vibe the whole time, and we saw him for dinner. That's what I would ask him every night. I said, I just want you showered and on time for dinner every night. And that's all I got. I didn't get anything with that. And even Julia, I didn't see much of her either. There were times when I was on some music trivia with my husband, and we're like, oh, she would be really good at this. And we would text her, oh, can you come and join us? And she's like, actually, Mom, I'm grabbing an ice cream right now, or I'm meeting friends. I'm busy. I'm sorry. So we didn't see much of them. And I think having an activity, the four of us, even being in Nassau, ended up being a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that, Sam, because we have the same experience with Nathan. Like we require him to show up like dressed for dinner every night. And, he's actually more on time for dinner often than we are. He often beats us to dinner. And then he, like, as soon as he's done eating, he's like, can I go back to Edge? And we're like, yeah, okay. Because he prefers the soft serve on deck to most of the desserts in the dining room. So he doesn't even stick around typically for dessert. But we have the same experience. If we book an excursion, he's on the excursion with us, right? So that's like on a boat or at a beach or making chocolate or whatever, right? Doing something as a family, and he has dinner with us. But other than that, and we have had the exact same thing where we have texted him, hey, can you, like, we really would love you to help us with this trivia, or how about come meet us and do this activity? Nah, I'm busy. Like I'm doing a scavenger hunt, or I'm eating ice cream, or I'm doing, playing a video. I'm about to beat, Smash Brothers on the Wii or the Switch or whatever in the club. So yeah, no interest in hanging out with us, and that's okay. It's their vacation too, right? Your 11-year-old and 15-year-old, is their vacation too, but it's nice to get some family time in as well. I want to ask you briefly about the dolphin encounter, because I think some of those dolphin encounters are really, really good. What did your brother and niece think about the dolphin encounter that they did? We did one in, I think, Cabo years and years ago. I feel like we should do another one at some point, because that was before Nathan was really a swimmer, so we couldn't do the one where where the dolphin like pulls you, kind of like, or we did the one where you just kind of like pet the dolphin and took a couple pictures, and Nathan was kind of scared. That was like his first cruise, so he was pretty little.
Exactly. And my niece can't swim either, and they felt more comfortable doing the dolphin encounter. They did the one, I think Atlantis might offer this one as well, but they did the one at Blue Lagoon, which is the same I had done with my son years and years ago. And you have to take a boat to get there. So you get off the ship and you get on a boat, and it's a good half hour to get there, maybe 20 minutes, half hour. So be prepared for it. And when I did it, I felt it was long. My brother said they loved the boat ride, that everything was new for them. And on the way back, she fell asleep, so she didn't mind it. And once you get to the island, everything is so pretty, and the sand is so fine. So they had a blast. The dolphin encounter itself was really fun. They don't let you take photographs, right? It's that usual thing where
they take your picture and then you pay for it. Yes,
exactly, and you pay a lot for it.
Yes. And it's not included in the excursion price. So for those listening, like if you do, and this is true for like all of the dolphin places, and whether you do dolphin encounter or dolphin swimming, and these usually have different titles, but exactly what Sam and I are talking about is encounter usually means you're getting in the water with the dolphin, but you're not doing the thing where the dolphin swims with you, right? You're just going to like maybe pet the dolphin, do some tricks with the dolphin, but it's a little bit of the I don't want to call it lesser experience, but it's perfect for kids who are not like great swimmers or adults who are not great swimmers because you're just in a shallow area. You're not like out in swimming with the dolphin. But yeah, they don't include pictures and video in your excursion, and they don't let you bring your own phone to take pictures or camera to take pictures or video. They take pictures and video, and then if you want those pictures and video, you are paying like sometimes well over $100 for those things.
If I remember correctly, I think he mentioned something like 130 for the photos. I don't remember how much I paid because it was a long time ago, but I do remember that the quality of the photos was pretty good. So I was happy with that. I did not regret buying the package.
Yeah, same. We still have those photos, and I don't regret paying for them. Like I don't regret doing that excursion. It's just a matter of like kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But that's awesome that they had such a good experience. We've heard really good things about Blue Lagoon. We haven't been there ourselves, but that does seem to be one of the sort of better places that would have multiple different excursions, whether you're just going for like a kind of a water park beach day type of excursion, or you're going to do one of the sort of their wildlife excursions. Well, let's talk about your Castaway Day on Christmas Day. I mean, I can't imagine a better place to be on Christmas Day, other than maybe, I don't know, Aulani. But how was Christmas Day? Well, actually, let's talk about Christmas Day on the ship first, because this was a maritime cruise. Were there special things in the atrium in the morning, like cookies and hot chocolate and opportunities to take Santa pictures?
I didn't look because so the one maritime activity that I was really looking forward to was the tree lighting ceremony. I love a good big Christmas tree, and to me that's so festive. So that one, I was like right there, and I didn't even know they had two ceremonies. They have one earlier in the day, they have one later. I went to the earlier one and they have a little show. So that one, I was all over it. And then Santa came at the end. Oh, and by the way, I kept looking around like, is that Santa? Like at cabanas, I would see a guy, with the cheeks. I'm like, is that I think that's Santa, and he's in his plain clothes. So I kept kind of spotting a lot of Santas around the ship. Never knew whether it was him or not, but that was a lot of fun. On the day of Castaway, I was just focused on getting off as soon as I could because I wanted to do the 5K before hanging out in the sun, right? And we happened to get a cabana for Castaway, which was a complete fluke. It's one of those lucky things. I of course had been checking the app. People recommend check the app every day, and I was checking twice a day, every single day. No luck. I did see Serenity Bay cabanas come up 2 or 3 times, just on the app randomly. But for us, of course, that didn't work because we had 3 kids. But in our Facebook group, and maybe this is happening more often now, our Facebook group created a WhatsApp group because WhatsApp works on the ship quite seamlessly. And on the WhatsApp group, there was one night when this lady posted, "Oh, if I find an extra cabana, is anyone interested?" And I'm like, "Well, yes." I happened to be online when she asked. This was 10 p.m. one day. I'm like, yes, unequivocally. And then the next morning, she texts me directly and she's like, "We got an extra cabana and our family is not going to need the second one. We're just going to use one. Do you want it?" So I could not believe it. So I ran to my desktop and she was like, "Okay, I'm going to drop it now. Be ready to pick it up." We picked it up and it was one of the new Mickey and Minnie cabanas we hadn't known before. So I couldn't believe it. She made my day. We even we got her gifts for her family, made this little basket and gave it to her on the cruise because I was just so happy and I could not believe it. It was really, really lucky.
Oh, I love that. I love stories like that because it's like it shows the power of community, and it's just so lovely when cruisers if somebody's going to drop a cabana, it's really lovely if they check the Facebook group and see maybe there's somebody who wants one, and if they happen to time it right, you can actually influence who's going to get the cabana that you're dropping. Yeah, and it's just it's a little bit of a Disney magic and pixie dust, and I love that you did something to show your appreciation also, because I think that's a wonderful part of that community as well. I love it.
It was wonderful. And there was more pixie dust that day. So a few doors down from our cabana, we saw, how they have the little sign saying, welcome Dart family. In our case, welcome this family, that family. So there was another sign saying, welcome Dart family on a different cabana. And my brother spotted it, and everything, like the doors were closed. And I'm like, oh, did they make a mistake? Like, did they think we were going to go there, but we're here? But then one cast member walked by and he said, no, they're on the beach. And I'm like, wait a minute. So they have our name and it's not such a common name, Darts. I'm like, I have to go talk to them. And everybody looked at each other's like, are you sure you're going to go there? Look, yes, I have to. So I walked over. They're on the beach. Lovely, lovely family. And we found out. So we have common ancestors like way back when, coming from Ireland, which is where the name came from. And the thing is that the husband, who is the one with the name Dart, he had seen our sign. So he had told his wife, I have to go talk to them.
But you guys weren't there yet, right?
Yes. So she had been a bit unsure, like, oh, we're going to bother them or not. So in the end, we all got together and they had 2 kids. One was the same age as my daughter. So they played in the sand and they couldn't be nicer. It felt like a Christmas miracle. It was just so, so fun. So since then, we now exchanged information. We're in contact and I'm just so happy.
It's like your long lost cousins.
Yes, it was crazy.
Oh my God. That is Disney magic. I don't know if if there's anything, if Disney magic is real, that's evidence of it, right? Like right there. Oh my God. I love that. I love that. Well, let's, as we're talking about ports and we're talking about Castaway, of course, we had a beautiful day at Castaway. You ran the 5K, you relaxed in a new Mickey and Minnie cabana. Now, had you guys had a cabana before, either at once at Castaway, one of the regular ones?
Once when we were on the Wish, because we were concierge, they were still doing we didn't get it at midnight, but they were still doing the wait list back then. I think they stopped doing the wait list, right?
That's what the official word from Disney Shoreside Concierge is that they have stopped doing the wait list. I will say on board, if somebody cancels a cabana, if you are sailing concierge and you tell the concierge staff, because they're the ones who manage it on board, like the bookings, you still have I would say you still have a decent chance of getting a cabana. If you're not sailing concierge, if you didn't happen to get one, randomly through the app, that is probably a very low chance of getting one on board. But if you're sailing concierge, because those cancellations go through the concierge folks, you have a decent chance if you let the hosts know right away when you first get on board, hey, if somebody drops a cabana, I'd really like to get one. So it's still there is some kind of wait list, but it's really just on board now, not sort of pre-cruise wait list. Yeah. Well, what did you think of the Mickey and Minnie cabanas as compared to, we haven't been to them yet. We've seen pictures and video of them, of course. We had, seen the construction from afar when you couldn't actually go to them, but you could kind of see it. We've been hearing whispers from folks that they're quite close to Serenity Bay, and that maybe some folks at Serenity Bay, meaning adults only, are not real happy about the fact that they now hear the noise of children playing just on the other side of a rope, because it's really right next to each other. I wanted to, hear your perspective. What did you think of the cabanas? Were they nicer than the original ones? The same? And also about the location. Did you enjoy the location and the beach over there?
Yeah, I thought they were very similar. The one difference I noticed is that the original cabanas, they have, so you have the covered area, and then outside you have a lighter cover that lets the sunlight come through with chairs and stretchers. So you can lie down in the sun right there. You don't need to go in the sun if you don't want to. And this cabana didn't have the stretchers. They had chairs in that outside area, but not the stretchers. So I enjoy having that longer, space to just lie down in the sun without getting sand all over. But I mean, I didn't mind it. I had a cabana Castaway, right? So I was very, very happy. I also saw that we had a shower right next door. I don't remember a shower at the previous cabana. Maybe there are, and I just didn't notice.
But they're down the steps. So at the cabanas at Castaway, if you go down the steps, and then there's just an outdoor shower so that you can rinse off the sand before coming into the cabana if you want.
They all have it. I had never noticed that. The kids definitely use this, so it was helpful. But they are very, very similar. Not a big difference. When I saw the location, I had been a little bit worried. Oh, are we gonna have to walk all the way around to get food, to maybe get a bike or do something else? But no, they built just next door. They built another bike place and another food place. So you don't have to go far at all. And the beach was lovely. It just felt perfect. And the kids had so much fun. It felt like a private beach, right? Not a lot of people around, and I don't have any complaints whatsoever. It felt pretty magical.
Yeah. Now, were you able to see, from where you guys were you able to see Serenity Bay Beach and the adult beach, or is it enough around the corner that you aren't really right next to it?
It was enough around the corner that I could barely see it. But then again, I wasn't too focused on it. I was focused on the kids playing, and the water was a little bit on the chilly side, but not too bad. So we could all go in the water and enjoy. And that's what I was looking at mostly.
Love it. Love it. Well, you went to Lookout Cay on your Destiny cruise. So I feel like this is the place where I've got to ask you about Lookout Cay, because you got to do the direct comparison, of course, between Castaway and Lookout. What did you think of Lookout? Impressions of, obviously the beach, but of course we have to ask, what you thought of the walk from the pier. I mean, we are marked safe from the Lookout Cay pier. But yeah, how did all of that day go?
Yeah, the walk was fine. I didn't mind it at all. Of course, having heard about it again and again, I wasn't shocked by it or anything. And I enjoy a good walk. I was out first thing, as soon as they open. And they open kind of late, right? I think 8:30 is kind of late if you think of how strong the sun can be already at that time. But because I wanted to try to run at Lookout, they don't have an organized 5K yet, but I thought, well, there must be someplace to run. So I'll go as early as I can so that it's not too hot. And by the time I got to the island and I went straight to a chair, like a beach chair first, to drop my stuff because nobody was out yet. So I just wanted to secure a chair and then go for a run. There were already people running on the path, but really it's not there yet, meaning there are no water stations, there's no shade, there's no signage for the 5K path. You don't know how much longer between here and that place where I started. So you're kind of lost. Maybe, with your phone or your watch, you can measure things, but it wasn't really well structured yet. I hope they do that soon, because I really feel like the 5K earns me all the desserts and other stuff that we on the ship. So I feel like I need to do that. So I'm hoping for that. But for now, they don't have the infrastructure. And I like that I got the chair early, because right in front of the water, it does get crowded relatively soon. So because I had that chair, then when the rest of the family came, again, my son went to look for vibes, so he didn't stay with us. And the girls were in the water most of the time. So if you just have a couple of stretchers and maybe a chair, that's plenty for everybody. Like you don't need one chair for each person. I think you guys mentioned this as well in the past, right?
Yes, I love that you're saying this, Sam. Like we try to evangelize this. You do not need, if you are a family of 4, you do not need 4 lounge chairs and 4 seated chairs. Like you probably need like 2 lounge chairs, maybe 3. If you've got a kid who doesn't go in the water at all, okay, you take that extra lounge chair for your kiddo. But most of the time, most of the kids are playing in the water or on the sand, and they are not using those lounge chairs. So like, don't take, if you're a party of 9, don't take 9 lounge chairs because you're not using them. They'll sit empty, and then other people are looking for chairs. And there are enough chairs at Lookout really for, the vast majority of people. Like I said, there's probably not enough for like every baby to have their own lounge chair, but the ones down at the beach are sort of the prime location because there's some more up on the berms. And a lot of people want to be down by the beach, especially if they're watching their kids in the water. Well, if your kid's in the water, they're not on a lounge chair. You don't need a lounge chair. Like
we always have Nathan just sit at when he does come up for lunch, he sits at the end of the chair, he eats his lunch, and he's back down to the water. So like I have grown increasingly frustrated in my old age. Old man yells at cloud. No, not everyone needs a chair all the time. And then half the time too, they'll take a lounge chair and then grab one of those like seated chairs and take it down by the water, and then the lounge chair is just sitting empty the whole time. So, yeah.
So if you're a family of 3, like Brian and I, take 2 lounge chairs. If you're a family of 4, take 2 or 3 lounge chairs. You do not need 4 chairs.
Exactly. So Luke was gone at Vibe. So we were 5 of us left. We had 2 lounge chairs and 1 regular chair. And that was all we needed. And it was a lot of fun. We were right next to Rush Out, Gush Out. And I thought that place was incredible. I wanted to go and play as well. It was fantastic. My niece loved it. Julia, my 11-year-old, loved it as well. We had some really great pictures of them just splashing around and having fun. Such a great place. I was really impressed with the infrastructure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's like a way better water park than what you have at Castaway, where, you have Pelican Plunge kind of in the water. And by the way, adults can go down those water slides. They are small water slides, but you're not going to get stuck. They're not that small. I just mean when I say small, I mean they're not like real intense, right? Like there's no big drops or anything like that. But they're fun. You can play. Sam, you can play in the splash pad. It's okay. I love it. Yeah, I think that was a great addition. And it's also great for maybe kids who aren't the best swimmers, who are maybe a little bit afraid of the ocean, or parents who are a little bit nervous because their kid's not a good swimmer and they don't want them going out into the ocean, but they can do they can go on a water slide that ends in just one of those little chute things, just like the ones on the ship. So it's really nice. I think it's a really good option for all.
Are you listening to our show because you want to make the most out of your next vacation? Great news. The fabulous team over at My Path Unwinding Travel can help guide you so you don't miss a thing. Their team of professional travel advisors are caring, knowledgeable, and experienced. It's why we use them to book our own travel. My Path Unwinding Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, which means they are recognized by Disney for their expertise and service. They have sailed on all the Disney ships, including in concierge, visited the theme parks, adventured with Disney, relaxed at Aulani, and so much more. Whether it's a Disney cruise, a theme park vacation, or Adventures by Disney, or if you are looking to expand beyond the mouse, My Path Unwinding Travel will elevate your next vacation planning experience. Even if you have already booked, reach out for a complimentary consultation to make your vacation even more magical. Ready to talk to the experts? Head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. Thanks, My Path Unwinding, for sponsoring today's show. Now back to the episode.
What did you think about Lookout as compared to Castaway? I think you're right about the infrastructure issue and the shade issues, of course. The infrastructure isn't quite there yet for the 5K. There's not a lot of shade on the paths and not that much shade at the beach either. It does take time for, of course, foliage and stuff to grow. But what did you think about, the overall experience on Lookout as compared to Castaway?
Yeah, I think if you're comparing both places without a cabana, we preferred Lookout. It felt just so organized, meaning when you have little ones, you have to think, where's the restroom? Where's the next restroom? If you're here, and you had restrooms everywhere, and they were quite nicely built, and you had showers to take your sand off everywhere. So it just felt perfect. Like you could be in the sand and splashing around, or you could be on the path, no sand around you. You have a shower, you have a restroom, you could eat. I feel like I need more time there. I definitely want to go back and explore more of the island. I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see. I didn't see the parade this time, but it just felt wonderful. The beach itself, the sand is as soft as flour, right? So just incredibly soft. And who doesn't love that? And you have a little bit more waves. I enjoyed that. I remember asking my niece which one she enjoyed best. And initially she kept saying, I like the safe island better, which was the sort of lagoon that Castaway offers. But by the end of the day, she got more used to the waves. And then she said that even she preferred Lookout as well. But I would say everyone in our party preferred Lookout. We had just a wonderful time. And it's great, right? Because we already loved Castaway. I think Castaway is just... it has a very special place in everybody's heart. So to have something that you might like even better, like how great is that? So, but I definitely want to go back. I feel like there is a lot more I'd like to explore. You see photos online of, oh, if you keep walking along the beach, you're going to see this cave and you're going to see this thing. And I didn't see any of that in this first visit. I didn't have time. But I had just a great time on the island. The kids did as well. It was gorgeous, and I want to go back.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything you said. I think they planned Lookout really beautifully with just where the food places are, where the bathrooms are, where the showers are. I mean, I know folks complain about it being kind of spread out, and it is, but if you think about it, if there's plenty of space for everyone, right? And there's plenty of facilities for everyone, and that's what's really wonderful. Whereas Castaway feels, when you're on one of the bigger ships, a bit more crowded and a bit less smartly planned, even though things are a little bit more compact over there. So yeah, I absolutely agree. And there's nothing better than that sand. I mean, that sand at Lookout is so soft and so fine, and frankly, much nicer than the sand at Castaway. And I love that you said, when I'm comparing no cabana to no cabana, because of course, if you have a cabana at either, at any private island experience, that's going to be an amazing, wonderful, lovely, quiet beach experience. But that's cabana to no cabana is not a fair comparison. No cabana to no cabana is the fair comparison, of course. So I love that you had a wonderful experience at Lookout. Well, let's jump back on board to the ships, because we need to do some compare and contrast between the Dream and the Destiny, because this was your first time on the Destiny. Now, Destiny was not a maritime sailing, because none of the Destiny sailings in the inaugural season, even though they were around Christmas time, were designated as maritime sailings. So if you were on the Destiny in November or December of 2025, you were not going to get any of the maritime activities, with one exception, which is if you were sailing over Christmas. I think they did do some of, but not all of the maritime activities, and think you could, take pictures with Santa and that sort of a thing. But I'm curious, decoration wise. I know we talked about this pre-show, but I'd love for you to tell our audience, like, what if any decorations you got onto the Destiny right after Christmas on the 26th? Were there still decorations up, and what kind of decorations were up on the Destiny?
Yeah, only the Christmas tree, which was gorgeous, no question, massive, more or less in the same location that it was on the Dream. So it looked kind of similar. But the Dream had just Christmas decorations everywhere in the Grand Hall, in the atrium. And it does create a special atmosphere. Especially like if you're a Christmas person like I am, you feel it. The other thing too, and it's funny how these things are. So the Destiny is a newer, more modern, just super exciting ship, fantastic ship. But the people who went on the Christmas cruise on the Dream, they were all so excited to be there for Christmas specifically. You can't beat that atmosphere. It really felt different. Even people who did the back-to-back on the Dream, so on Christmas and then the one after, they said that it felt different. So the people you go with, I think, can have an impact as well, including how, the energy in the air and the atmosphere. So the maritime one on the Dream was very, very Christmassy. You saw lots of pajama sets on the evening of the 24th, lots of dressed up people for dinner on the 25th. It just felt really, really fun. And the Destiny was a completely different vibe. It was like, yeah, it was Christmas, but let's focus on Marvel. Let's focus on just having some fun here.
Yeah. You got that heroes. Yeah, that heroes and villains and Marvel theming on the Destiny is really, really strong. This is the perfect transition, Sam. So you get off the Dream, you're in the terminal, you walk across to the other terminal to board the Destiny. You guys got on group 2, so not too much time, probably waiting around. But when you boarded the Destiny, I got to hear what your first impressions were, because I know you love the Wish, so you're a Wish class fan, but I'm, very interested to know you just left the beautiful, sort of classic feel of the Dream with all of its Christmas decorations, and you enter into this a very different, like you said, very modern Grand Hall on the Destiny. What was your first reaction? I mean, sure, you saw pictures and renderings, but it's different than being in person.
I was really impressed. I thought it was gorgeous. Everything about it, the paintings on the wall, the colors they used, they were vibrant. They were speaking to you. And even when you go to your stateroom, the walls were not, boring cream color. It was, either this deep green or blue. Like everything was alive around you. It just felt vibrant. I was really struck by it. It was probably the most beautiful Disney ship I had ever seen.
Wow, that's really some strong words. I have to say, the artwork choices, and this is particularly true, I think, of both the Treasure and the Destiny, are just incredible. In every stairwell, in every hallway, there is huge, massive pieces of artwork that are, of course, Disney and Star Wars and Marvel and all of that, but they are just like very interesting. Like, they're not all, like, I feel like on the older ships you have lots of classic Disney artwork, and I love all of that, like Mickey and Fab Five type stuff and some of the older movies and all of that. But I think on the newer ships they've done like some really cool modern takes on the artwork, right? And I'm so impressed. I feel like in every hallway and every stairwell on both the Destiny and the Treasure, and to some degree on the Wish, but more so on the Treasure and the Destiny, I think they took it up a notch. You just see like really cool artwork everywhere you go. It's like a museum, basically.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was on deck 3 or 4 that you go along the hallway and there are maybe 6 really large paintings, and you have one is Moana, one is Woody. I can't remember all of them, but I remember the first time my daughter walked by those and she had to stop and look, and she was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And, I as a mom, watching my daughter just mesmerized by it, I was so happy to see it. And I remember my reaction when I first saw those same paintings, and I had to stop myself just to admire them for a little bit. So it was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. But I have the same thing I said about Lookout, that I have to go back. I feel like I have to go back to the Destiny because 4 nights are not enough to really get to know the ship well and the experiences. In fact, on day 1, I kept checking the navigator and all the experiences list, and you put the hearts on what you want to do and so on and so forth. And I very quickly realized that I might not be able to do everything. And I need to accept it. The quicker I accept it, the happier I'm going to be, because it's just not enough time. This ship has a lot of entertainment activities and options. And I thought, I can't just, I need to stop having fun now because I'm going to have fun over there and then fun over there. No,
you'll drive yourself crazy.
That kills the fun, right? So I told myself on day 1, I just have to relax and go with the flow and do what I can do in this first trip, And I know I'm going to be back at some point. I have to. So I'm just going to do what I can and enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. That's what Crush says. Go with the flow, right? You have to.
That may be some of the worst singing you've done on this show, Sam.
But no, you really have to. If you do exactly what you're talking about, which is sort of a jump from activity to activity because you're like, oh, I need to stop having fun where I'm doing right now and go have fun over there. Like, you will drive yourself batty and you will not end up having fun. And you're exactly right. There is so much entertainment on the Destiny that it is not possible to do it all, at least not happily. I don't know. I mean, maybe you could do it all and just be miserable, but like, yeah, I don't think it's really possible to do it all in like 4 days, even in 5 days, to be perfectly honest. I'm curious, Sam, which of the entertainment stuff did you get to do? Like, did you get to meet some of those villains or see some of their, sort of entertainments? I know that there's a Cruella show in the bar space. There is a Maleficent show in Saga. There is Dr. Facility's Parlor, but there's also like meet and greet opportunities with all three of those villains. And then, of course, there's all like the Grand Hall Atrium shows that are Marvel themed. I mean, there's just so much. And of course, then the Marvel show that's adult only in Saga. I'm curious if you got to do, I imagine not all of those experiences, but some of those experiences.
That's right. We did some of those. Actually, our whole family were big Marvel fans, so that was right up our alley. And I love Loki in particular. So I was so happy to see. I saw that show that he does with Zaya and Gamble. So that was fun to see. And then he does the meet and greets with people. And I'm like, oh, I want to take a picture with him, but I don't know what to say to him. So I ended up not going to take a picture with him. Like, if I had my kids with me, that could help me. But they were gone. So I'm like, it's just me. And I didn't go up to him to talk to him. But I did the show, the adult show. What is it called? With Great Power. Although I felt maybe that didn't have to be an adult show. I mean, there are a couple moments in there that they could very easily tweak and make it more accessible to everyone. So that was a fun show. I thought the music that came before that show was also really, really good. So we enjoyed that. What else? Oh, so we didn't get to do the Cruella show at the lounge, but there was this Cruella fashion show on the atrium, and I didn't know about that, and it was so much fun. We laughed a lot, we clapped a lot, everybody was down there for it. So it was great fun. We did the Dr. Facilier interaction, and I was the one interacting with.
Oh, you got picked. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Do you have the power of intuition, Sam?
Apparently.
All right.
You said, gotta trust the man. So it was great. We did the show, of course, Hercules. And by the way, that one as well, I feel like I need to watch it again because Hercules is not my favorite movie. It never was. So I enjoyed it. But after the show, when I kept hearing some songs again, I'm like, oh, this song is really good. I gotta watch it again. I gotta pay attention to the details. So I enjoyed it, but I wasn't gaga for it. I still love Beauty and the Beast, the most. That was amazing, by the way. Having a chance to watch Beauty and the Beast again on the Dream felt like a gift. I was so impressed with the singing. Was just amazing. So we enjoyed a lot that the ship had to offer, but the Cruella thing at the lounge, we missed it. We did go to the lounge. We ordered, oh my gosh, that fashionista drink. I'm a tequila person. I don't drink much, believe it or not. I don't drink much, but tequila I like. The fashionista drink was just perfect. So I really enjoyed that one. I wish the lounge was a little bit bigger. So it was very crowded. We had to wait a little bit for seating, but I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than the Haunted Mansion one, I have to say. Also because we were never, Haunted Mansion enthusiasts. So I didn't have that emotional connection to the lounge that so many park goers have. So I enjoyed the Cruella one a lot more. I thought it was really a cool vibe.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic bar. I agree. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I feel that way, especially because of the show aspect in there. Like, it would be really nice for more people to be able to experience it. I know they repeat it multiple times across the cruises, but it's still people line up and people sort of park themselves in that space for hours because it is such a great space and because the troublemaking show is a really fun interactive experience with Cruella and with Zaya and Gamble, who you mentioned, the storytellers on the ship. So yeah, it's real. I mean, there's so much great entertainment, though. It's not, like I said, not possible to do all of it on a single sailing. I think I did. I think I did everything except for I still missed the Sounds of Wakanda. Now, we were on 3 different sailings, like across 3 different sailings, a 3-night preview that also had, of course, some special stuff going on, like the christening, which took a huge chunk of time. And then we did 2 4-night back-to-back sailings. And I still know that I missed that. And I didn't do all the character meet and greets, but I did get to do all of the what I'll call it new entertainment aspects, apart from character meet and greets. Like, I didn't wait in line to meet Maleficent or wait in line to meet Cruella, but I did do all of their shows. Let's put it that way.
The Sounds of Wakanda, is that supposed to be the goodnight kiss, or is that supposed to be during the day?
So the Sounds of Wakanda is actually where they come out and do drumming and stuff in the atrium. It's the folks, it's the guys who do, I believe it's the same drummers who do the show in the Lion King restaurant. They actually come and do like a Sounds of Wakanda musical demonstration. So it's like African music in the Grand Hall. It's not the light show with the chandelier. So the light show with the chandelier, there are at least 3. There might be more, but there is one that is a Wakanda themed one, right? Because it is vibranium, that chandelier. There is also one that I saw that was a pirate themed one. So on Pirates Night, I believe it was at like 7:30, I think, the chandelier started making lights and sound and whatnot. And then I also saw another one that was Sleeping Beauty Maleficent themed, that had sort of sleeping, it had the I know you, but it was kind of a creepy version of it and had lighting effects. And so there might be more. Those are the 3 that I am aware of. And I actually have videos, I have reels on Instagram of all 3 or portions of all 3, because I believe for the Pirates one, I didn't know it was coming, so I probably missed the beginning section of it. And same with the Wakanda one. I caught it, maybe a few seconds, maybe 20 seconds into it. So it's not actually the entirety of the show. Each one is maybe 2 minutes long. I'm approximating. I don't know exactly. But it's lighting effects and music being played in the atrium. And so it is sort of I'll call it replacement for the Goodnight Kiss on the Wish, which the Goodnight Kiss on the Wish actually happens at, I think it's like 10 and midnight, maybe something like that
Oh, yeah. On the Wish, it's timed. On the Treasure, the Destiny, it seemed to be a little.
Yeah, random. On the Destiny, it seemed much more like random, or at least not announced. If you ask a cast member, they're like, I don't know. And so the only one I can say, like, I think had a specific time, and this is just my guessing, is because it was 7:30 on Pirate Night, the pirate one happened. So if folks are interested in seeing the pirate one, I think you got a pretty good chance of seeing it at 7:30 if you're in the Grand Hall on Pirate Night. 7:30 p.m., sorry, not a.m. And then the Wakanda one was at like 5 o'clock at night one night. And the Maleficent one was, I don't even know, it was like a random time, during the day or something.
I didn't know that there were 3, and I missed all of them. I was hoping to catch one of them, but I couldn't find out what time, and I was doing other things. So I missed all of them, but I remember being on the queue for guest services once, which is on deck 4, right? And then I heard the drums, and I'm like, is something happening? And I walked over the rail to look at it, but there wasn't anything I could see. So just the sound. So I'm like, it sounds like something should be happening here. This sounds pretty exciting. But I looked around, I didn't see anything. So I don't know what that was. So that's why I was wondering.
That might have been the Wakanda themed chandelier show. Now, when I say show, we're just talking about some lighting effects. It's not like it's anything really big and crazy, but you'd have to look up to notice
It was
it.
like the middle of the day.
But it was
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe it wasn't. I didn't look up.
Yeah, it might just be that if you look down and didn't see anything, next time look up. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they that's what I said. It's not, and I only sort of this was over the course of 3 sailings that I figured these 3 out. So I can't say for sure that there aren't even more. There might be more, and they might actually have some kind of timing to them. If they do, I couldn't figure it out. And when I asked the cast members, they couldn't tell me. So it's definitely different than on the Wish, that has a very regimented kiss goodnight. Like I said, I think at like 10 and midnight. So yeah, very, very different experience. I've got to ask, Sam, what was your favorite thing on the Destiny, be that a show and a piece of entertainment and activity? Because obviously we can't talk about everything you did on the Destiny in 4 days or everything you did on the Dream in 4 days. But yeah, what was your favorite activity or entertainment?
Gosh. So okay, maybe this is certainly not exclusive to the Destiny, because if I'm just speaking about the Destiny itself, the theme of heroes and villains is a lot of fun. So I love that, and what comes with it, seeing the characters and feeling, the way they use light in the atrium to create a different atmosphere. I thought that was something I had never seen before. In terms of our favorite, or at least my favorite activity on the ship, but it's not exclusive to the Destiny, it was the 80s music challenge. I had never done it before. I had only done 80s music trivia. In fact, when we went to that, I thought that's what it was. I didn't even click to the fact that the name was slightly different, to challenge. And then they said on stage that the challenge, that was the first time it was happening on the Destiny, that it used to happen on other ships, and I was on the Destiny. And it pairs a little bit of trivia with tasks that the teams have to do. And it was on the last night of the cruise. So I was just, me and my husband, we were just so excited, and we were like volunteering on everything and participating, really. So it was so funny, and we just let go and just had the best time. So that was my favorite on the ship.
I don't think we've done that before. We've definitely done the 80s music trivia, but we've never done one that's called 80s music challenge, Sam. Oh my God.
You have to, because they really get you out there.
I love that. I love that. Well, I've got to ask your perspective on, you just introduced your brother and your niece to 2 ships. I mean, back, side to side sailings, their first and their second cruise, one after another on 2 different ships. Do you think that one of the ships is in particular better for, let's say, a first-time cruiser as opposed to the other? Like, do you feel like the order you did this in was sort of the right order, meaning Dream first, Destiny second for them? Or do you have any other thoughts about, like, if you were gonna have sent a first-time cruiser on their first ship, which ship that would be?
So it depends on, I think it depends a lot on the ages of the kids you have with you. And I'll give an example. So I love all Disney ships. So you put me on any one of them, I'll be happy. But for my niece, she thought the Oceaneers Club on the Destiny was far better than on the Dream. It was larger, it was more modern, the activities were more engaging for her. She also said that the cast members on the Destiny paid more attention to her. Maybe that was, something of the day. I mean, who knows? But she absolutely loved it on the Destiny, and she wasn't quite as excited on the Dream to go there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. For my kids, so I think Julia enjoyed both. She said that the Destiny space was a little bit better. My son mentioned that the vibe on the Destiny had a little bit of a better space, but he made more friends on the Dream. So the group he was running around with on the Dream, he was so happy. The group he was running around with on the Destiny was smaller. He still had a great time, and he met great people, but just it was a little bit different. And he kept saying, I think he's right, the people on the ship, they really make or break the experience. So So I think there is a little bit of that as well. And people say this even about the 1820 club, that sometimes you click with the people that you meet and you have a wonderful time, and sometimes you don't. And the funny thing is, if we go back to, okay, what is the best ship? And I did have a wonderful experience on the Wish, as we talked about before, but the Destiny is a step further. So the Destiny is amazing, and it's a lot more modern than the Dream. But my Christmas cruise on the Dream was nothing short of magical. So if I'm comparing both cruises, my Dream cruise was better because it was Christmas and because my niece was there and there was Castaway you know what I mean? So the experiences will vary so much depending on so many factors. And I think if you like Disney, you're going to be happy on pretty much any ship. But yes, the Destiny is a more modern, a lot more spaces and activities to choose from if that's what you need.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good assessment. I think, if you're looking for a maritime Christmas experience, I actually agree. I'm not sure I'd recommend one of the newer ships. I think that one of the classic original 4, is probably a bit more of that classic Christmas experience, and you can lean more into the Christmas activities.
I think the Treasure would present a good opportunity on some of the newer ships for
sure,
because it's 7-night cruises. I feel like there's a richness of the atrium like they have on the older ships. I agree. The Destiny and the Wish are a little more difficult for me to envision the Christmas time vibes, either on like a Marvel Christmas sailing, essentially. And I'm not a big fan. I know some people love the Wish decked out with like the all white Christmas tree and that kind of stuff, but I'm not that guy. Like I want whiter, so I want traditional Christmas decoration. I want greens and reds and all that sort of stuff. So it wouldn't be the ship I'd choose for very maritime, but the Treasure is one I would look at.
Yeah, but I will say, I think your niece is actually correct. I mean, Nathan would agree with your niece in saying that the Wish class has the best Oceaneers club. That's what he thinks. I don't know that every child will agree. I'm sure there are some kids who love Andy's room on, the Wonder and the Magic, which is such a cute room with the slide, inside the club. But I do think that, slightly older kids at the sort of older end of Oceaneers club probably are going to enjoy the Oceaneers Club on the Wish class because it is more modern and there's lots of different rooms and different activities on board. Well, Sam, we're not going to do a full rapid fire because we did that last time, but I do have to ask you now because you proclaimed the Wish as your favorite ship on the last show, and you mentioned this hilariously in our communication pre-show. That when you said that to us on the last show during Rapid Fire, you got kind of silence from Brian and I, and how telling that silence was because we were like, oh, okay, your favorite ship is the Wish. But we were joking before the show. Like, I want to say out there, if your favorite ship is the Wish, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a beautiful ship. I think part of why Brian and I rank the Wish lower in our standings is because of two things. One is the itinerary. 3 and 4 night itineraries are too short for us. We don't like that itinerary that only goes to, Nassau and Castaway. We want a longer itinerary in general. But also, we have this kind of skewed view of the Wish in part because we went on the maiden voyage of the Wish, and then we went on the maiden voyage of the Treasure and the maiden voyage of the Destiny. And so when we compare those experiences, like the Wish really wasn't at the level of ready that Treasure and Destiny were. Like, it's kind of night and day when you think about it, when we look back on it. And so that skews our vision of the Wish. And so even though the Wish is a beautiful ship with wonderful princess theming and some really great stuff on board, it still is going, because of that view and because of those experiences, we're going to rank her lower. Now, once she changes itineraries, that might change, right? Like once she starts doing longer itineraries, like after she sails Europe in 2027, perhaps, that might change. But I got to ask you now that you were on the Dream for Christmas. You were on the Destiny in her inaugural season. Now, which one? I forget. Have you been on all of the ships now, Sam? And
I'm missing the Treasure.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so setting aside the Treasure, that can't be your favorite because you haven't been on her yet. Of the other ships, what is that, 6 ships, which one is your favorite?
Yeah, I think now I have to say the Destiny.
Ah!
I really want to go back. I want to spend more time and explore everything. Gosh, it was so beautiful. It was striking. I really want to go back to it. The Dream will always have a special place in my heart because it was our first ship, and having it be my brother's first ship also is kind of cute. So I love the Dream. But man, the Destiny really has something going on, and I want to go back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for anyone who's a Marvel fan or a Villains fan, I think the Destiny has so much to offer. And anyone who's really leans into the entertainment side of things, right? If you're somebody who likes to sit at an adult pool, you're probably not going to like the Destiny if that's what you do. But if you're somebody who likes to go to a lot of different entertainment activities, the Destiny is going to be a really, really good option.
I enjoyed my time by the adult pool.
Well, okay, fair, but you know when to go, Brian. You have good strategy about when you can go and stake out your spot.
I also found, maybe it was the sailings we were on, but I found that the adult pool was not as oversubscribed when we were on the Destiny. And I wonder if a part of that is there's so much entertainment that it's like spreading the crowds around a bit. So people aren't just sitting by the pool all day. They're trying to go catch this entertainment.
Away, no?
Yes, it's more hidden away though. Yeah, but it's the same as on the Wish and the Treasure, where it's in the back of the ship, but it's like it's too small. That's the only complaint I have about it. It's that the pool is too small and there's only the one hot tub, and I don't mind that it's actually tucked out of the way. It's just I think most people would agree it's too small compared to the size of the ship and the number of adults sailing. And so if you happen to be on a sailing that is heavily adult, you're going to have trouble finding a spot to sit or finding space even in the pool because the pool's really, really quite small. All right. Well, I know Brian wants to ask the next question.
What's next? What have you got planned?
Right. So we came home and the kids were desolated and thinking, oh, I wish I could just imagine what Marceline Market will serve for breakfast and the activities on Vibe and Edge. So we ended up booking a New Year's cruise on the Treasure for this year. So later this year. And we're very excited about that. And that's the one that is missing, right? So we'll get
you'll complete.
We're complete. And we still have our booking on the Adventure for late July. So we have that to look forward to as well.
Awesome. Amazing. You have 2. You're going to complete... Listen, Sam, you're going to complete the Elite 8, if that's what we're calling it, before Brian and I, because we are not scheduled on the Adventure at this point. We have completed, of course, the current 7 Dwarfs, but we will not have the Adventure. We don't have it on our itinerary for 2026. So we don't have anything booked. We don't have it booked for 2027 yet either. So you may beat us in being a completionist, Sam. So congratulations on that.
Almost assuredly. We just don't have it's tough with a 12-year-old in school to get over to see the Adventure, and it's a hefty proposition too.
It's far. It requires a lot of planning, even for us to do it. Well, number one, we need to extend it a little bit because it's a long way to go for just 4 nights. So we are doing an Adventures by Disney in Japan after that, but also it's a lot of jet lag. So what we decided to do is try to stop in Europe along the way and marrying that with work. So because my work has offices in a lot of places, so I will work from London, work from Paris, work from Singapore, and then take more days when we go to Japan. So that's how we found a way to make this work for us, but it requires a lot of planning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Sam, you have to come back on the show to talk about all of these things. For sure, you've got to come to talk about the Adventure and the Adventures by Disney in Japan. So mark your calendar for whenever you're back, whether it's July or August, you are coming on the show to talk about those 2 things. And then, of course, you got to come back to talk in the new year about your New Year's Eve cruise on the Disney Treasure, because there's, nothing more special than spending a holiday on Disney Cruise Line. So we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this amazing side-to-side cruising out of Port Everglades. And we just love having you on.
Thank you guys so much. I'll be happy to come back.
Well, thanks to everyone out there for listening this week. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep getting great content from us every week. In fact, twice a week we publish shows. So be sure to hit the subscribe button to get all of those great episodes. And if you want to watch us live, we have a live show now every week, Monday nights, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern over on youtube.com/DCL Duo. So be sure to head over and check that out. If you want to help support the show, be sure to hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us a written review, a 5-star written review, we will read it at the top of one of our main episodes. So please head over there and hit those 5 stars. Of course, you can also help support the show by supporting our fabulous show sponsor, My Path Unwinding Travel. If you want to book your next Disney vacation, head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email them at dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. If you've got questions or you'd like to connect with us, the best way to do that is to head over to dclduo.com. It's got links to all of our things, full catalog of the podcast episodes, including a searchable catalog for the podcast, links off to our vlog, a link to our Etsy store where we sell some fun fan-inspired magnets, link to our Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the show each and every month. Just head over to the website or patreon.com/DCL Duo. Also has a way for you to sign up for our Substack newsletter that we're hoping to start really pumping out monthly here at least, and a few blog articles that we've written. So DCLDuo.com is the best way to connect with us. You can also, of course, email us at info@DCLDuo.com or reach out to us on our voicemail line at 402-413-5590. That's 402-413-5590. The DCL Duo Podcast is not affiliated with Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Company, or the Disney family of theme parks. The views expressed on the show are solely those of the individuals on the podcast and in no way reflect the views of the Disney Company or Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions about a Disney cruise or a Disney vacation, please contact the great folks over at My Path Unwinding Travel or Disney directly or your own travel agent. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another fabulous adventure with the DCL Duo. Good night.